Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown Atlanta. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I. So it is. Whoever you are, whatever path brought you here today, please know that you are welcomed and celebrated. We know who you are. You are an individualized expression of the divine life in which we all live. We are life's opportunity to express and be someone unique and wonderful. Whatever your background, your religious affiliation, however you know yourself or describe yourself, know that you are welcome here. You're welcome to be a part of this community in whatever way serves you. And with that, I'd like you, if you're joining us and you've been joining us for a while, invite your friends online and in person. We meet on the first Sunday of the month in person at the Garden Hills Community Center in Atlanta. And the next first Sunday happens to be Easter, so we look forward to everybody being there in person for that. So we are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle. Through teaching, service, and practice, we create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. And now, for a little bit more about who we are, our Declaration of Principles, as written by our founder, Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful.
So, a practitioner is someone who's demonstrated the ability to use spiritual practice and spiritual laws to bring about great changes in their lives. And they've also demonstrated that when asked by others, they can help them bring about those changes in themselves and others as well. Licensed by Centers for Spiritual Living, they're available to provide you spiritual guidance and support in those areas where you're looking for assistance. You can see their contact information on our website, cslmidtown.org. And today we've got one of our amazing practitioners with us to share good ideas and an affirmative prayer called the Spiritual Mind Treatment. Welcome, Maya Fuller.
Thanks so much. Good morning, CSL Midtown. Welcome, welcome, welcome this morning. I am about to launch into a spiritual mind treatment. And as I do so, I invite you to settle yourself into this space, to prepare your consciousness to receive expansion. So let us join together in the consciousness of an understanding faith-based prayer, affirmative prayer that we call spiritual mind treatment. I invite you to settle into your seats, maybe close your eyes, but just be here now with us. As we recognize that there is but one life, that life is God, and that life actually truly is my life right here and right now. I exist and I am functioning through the power of the omnipotent life force through which everything is creative and through which everything is evolving. Despite appearances, life is evolving. Yes, therefore, despite appearances, humanity is evolving. I am evolving. This day, I choose my thoughts. Knowing that my divine nature is to express my evolving life beautifully, I allow God in me, God as me, God all around me to guide me, guard me, sustain and maintain me in absolute perfection. I know that all of my experiences, whether they be judged good or bad, are important parts of my journey. I accept the premise that all is God and all is perfect. So it stands to reason that everything that has transpired is also perfect, even though it may or may not appear to be so. I accept the premise that everything is God. And God is perfect good, and so therefore all is well. Everything is working out for the highest and best of all concerned. And I celebrate that in every moment of my life. And with that, I forgive and release every person, every situation, every condition or experience of my past that seemed to have caused me pain. And I take a new perspective. I look for the good. I know each experience has served its purpose and is bringing me to a new and greater destiny. So I release all worry, doubt, or fear of what the future may bring, and I give myself permission to be completely and wholly present at each and every right now moment, so that I may experience the totality of good that this life has to offer. Even in my most difficult times, I recognize that Spirit is at work. Spirit is present and always at work. And so that allows me to focus on the good that I desire, knowing that it is already mine by right of consciousness. It's mine by right of consciousness, or I could never have thought of this good in the first place. All I have to do is accept it. So I accept and welcome the good that is ready to present itself in my life, as my new experience. I am declaring that this is breakthrough season. So I invite, permit, and direct the power within me to flow into expression as supreme health. Joy is creative self-expression, overflowing financial abundance, exquisite, loving, lasting, joyous relationships, and abundant good of every kind, even beyond my wildest imagination of good. I know this for myself. I know this for humankind. I know this for the world. I know this is available right now, and I accept, and I say yes, I say yes, I say yes, I accept this good for the entire humankind, for the entire world of all living beings. And so my heart is filled with thanksgiving and joy as I release this word and witness the perfect outpicturing of the law of mind as it brings great blessings into my life, great blessings into the world, right now, right now. This is a right now universe, a right now God, a right now intelligence, a right now love, joy, peace, wisdom, beauty, life through creative expression and power and strength right now. May everyone around us, God, have everything they need. May all beings be happy. May all beings find peace. And I declare it to be so right now, as we together, as a community of faith, affirm and declare that it is so. And so it is. Amen.
It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker this morning. Reverend Deb E. Hammond is an ordained interfaith minister by way of One Spirit Seminary, as well as a licensed religious science spiritual practitioner since 2009, beginning in the Oakland Bay Area. Reverend Deb is a wisdom seeker, a person who answers the call to live a life that continues to awaken her to deeper inner wisdom and continues to lift her to higher levels of consciousness. Reverend Deb is a member of the Focus Ministry, Platinum Butterfly Ministries, where every where Reverend D. Jacqueline Edwards is a senior minister in Oakland, California. Welcome, Reverend Deb.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is so wonderful to be here with you all this morning. Oh my gosh, thank you for the invitation to be here and even for this talk that I get to do today. And, it's like I'm grateful right now because I'm like enjoying the sunshine, as I know you all are. I'm all the way in California. And so it's, our weather is beautiful out here right now, and just in this place of gratitude of life and love and how we show up, regardless of appearances. Sometimes it's about how do we show up. And in that showing up, we think so many times, especially when we've been on the spiritual path, if we've been on a spiritual path longer than about 5 minutes or so, then we understand that we get to this place that we say, I'm so spiritual. I've got everything worked out. It's like, I'm good. How many of you all have been down that road and say, oh yes, it's like, I know how to do the spiritual thing now. Many times people think we as ministers and practitioners that we have it all figured out. And yeah, no, that is not the case. But we are reminded, if we allow ourselves on a daily basis, to remember who we are. And so the topic for today is I got it, I lost it. And what that means is that how many times have you been like experiencing, like you're in your Zen moment, you've been in meditation, it's just like, woosah. It's like, I know everything's going to work out. Everything is happening for my good. And before we get to this place that we start quoting mystics of what they're saying, or before we get deep into metaphysical, I want to ask a question. Have you ever had a day when you felt completely enlightened? When you were just so peaceful, you were loving, you were patient, where traffic didn't bother you, your boss didn't bother you, your family didn't bother you, and you were floating around saying things like, everything is good, everything is love, everything is divine. And then moments later, sometimes hours later, somebody may say the wrong thing to you, or somebody may post something wrong, or somebody cuts you off in traffic. And then suddenly your enlightenment goes out the window. I don't know how many, if that's ever happened to any of you all, but I know, especially in the Atlanta area, traffic it gets really crazy out there. I've lived out there for a while, so I'm aware of that. And people do some of the craziest things sometimes when they're driving. We experience that here in California. So I think about yesterday you were Buddha, and then today you're barely behaving. It's like, wait a minute, what happened? What happened consciously, spiritually? And that's what today's talk is titled. I got it, I lost it. Because even if you've been on this spiritual path for a while, we've all had that experience that we feel like we found that truth. And then it's like, then all of a sudden, the next day, we just misplaced it somewhere between the grocery store and the email box. But what I know is that here's the good news. You didn't lose it. You just forgot it. And that's what we call awakening. Is simply remembering who we are, who we really are. And today we're going to remember something powerful, that you are not the confused self. You are not the anxious self. You are not the struggling self. You are a spirit, this human form, having this human experience. And when we come back and remember that, things change. When we remember who we are, the spiritual essence of who we are, things change, because how we respond to certain situations change. Because we can say, our boss may say something crazy, or a coworker may say something crazy to us. And we could look at them and say, you know what? Sometimes people say, bless you. And we move on. And it's like, or we can respond in a way that I hear you, but I'm not responding to this disagreement right now or this energy. Sometimes I tell people when they may be in a heated argument or somebody is fussing at them or, you know, talking negatively to them. And I invite people to go in your mind. It's like, you don't have to say this out loud, but while they're speaking from that heart space, say, I love you. I love you. I love you. And when that happens, feel the energy shift. Something in the conversation may change. Something awakens within you or maybe within the other person that changes. And it's not for us to think, oh, this stuff really works. It works if you work it. And it is done unto you as you believe, is what we've been told. So if you're speaking love to this person, to the spirit energy of that person, then eventually you're going to get something, you're going to get a shift back. And that's that whole place of that we've never lost it. When we recognize that we are one with the infinite, stay in that place. Because sometimes when things happen to people, people want to say, why is this happening to me? Reverend Michael says, there's nothing happening to me. It's happening through me. And it's like, and I realize sometimes that things happen for us to shift us, to move us into a different direction. Because sometimes we may stay stuck in a certain situation. Or sometimes we may be in this place of remembering things that our parents have told us about who we are, how we show up, what our role is in the world. And we buy into that because we think, oh, our parents know everything. And so they must know me as well. But then that's when you stop listening to that inner knowingness that guides you when you're going to school. You want to be a doctor, but your parents want you to be a lawyer or vice versa or whatever it is. But you know in your heart what you want to do. But when you follow a line of thinking that someone else has created that doesn't align with you, then there's that shift. You feel that you're not in alignment. And so things don't match up. Things don't fit into your world as you want it to be. So it feels off. It feels chaotic. This is when we come back to this place of centering ourselves. When we go into meditation, when we go into these quiet places and we think about, let me take a moment. I know there are sometimes like when I've worked at another company and I've walked into this business and my energy felt so off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? It's like, and then I had to think, oh, I didn't meditate this morning. So I'll go run back to my car if it's close enough or go find a quiet spot and be in that space to center myself, to allow myself to be open. You know, I love our global theme for this year, which is open at the top. And Ernest Holmes always said in our teaching must always be open at the top, open to greater illumination, open to deeper awareness, open to truth that keeps revealing itself. And let me tell you something, a mind that thinks it already knows everything is closed at the top. How many times have you tried having conversations with someone and they've said, oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. And they don't give you an opportunity to speak what has come up for you or your ideas or your thoughts, and they want to shut it down. That person is closed at the top. And that way it's like spirit they're not listening to their inner knowingness. They're coming from this egoic space. And what I know is that when we come from the soul level, our soul is always open at the top. And when you're open at the top, revelation keeps coming. Insight keeps coming. Healing keeps coming. Prosperity keeps coming. peace keeps coming. I think about this, the world that we're in right now, and how do we stay open at the top with all the chaos that's happening around us, the things that we see on the news? How do we stay open at the top? How do we remember who we are in these moments? Or do we get caught up in the stories and all that's happening? Do we allow fear to kick in and direct our path? Or do we let our faith direct our path? There's a person's name, Adi Shanti, and please forgive me if I mispronounce his name, that said, I had it, I lost it. And that statement comes from the ego self. The ego loves to tell stories like that. I had it, but I lost it. I had that consciousness, but I lost it. I had that faith, but I lost it. The thing is, we never lose it because it's always within us. We just go back to that place of remembering. You cannot lose what you truly are. You can only lose the awareness of it. And that's different. Your divine nature is not something that you achieve. It's something that you remember. Eckhart Tolle has said, when you accept this moment fully, when you stop arguing with what is, the mind becomes still. How many times have we been in a place and we kind of argue with our own selves sometimes? Like, oh, that was stupid to do. Why did I do that? Oh my gosh, it's like, it's like we've gone down this path. I know I have. I don't know about you. I know you all are all metaphysical, and it's like, and this has not happened. But what I know is that in this human form, it happens to all of us. And so when we stop arguing with ourselves and become still, when we quiet ourselves and become still, something greater happens. And I tell myself periodically, when I'm trying to figure something out and I'm trying to work through a situation and it feels really hard and I'm struggling with it, I have to stop for a moment because I keep thinking, it's like, well, yeah, I did this last year, so it worked out last year the same way. So why isn't it this time? Because what happens is our consciousness has changed. And so what I do is I'll just stop for a moment and I'll just say, all right, Spirit, you know me way better than I do because you created me. And so in this creation of me, show me how to move through this situation. But I have to be still and allow myself to be open at the top in order to receive that information. And in that stillness is where you stop the interruption. It's always there. Since the last time that I was here with you all, I know I had moved from Georgia. I was in Savannah, Georgia, and I moved from Georgia back here to California. And for the first year, I was really trying to find work. It's like, okay, there has to be something for me that will allow me to meet my income needs of what I'm looking for. And I searched for almost a year when I returned. And you know how sometimes Spirit guides you to these certain places, these certain websites, you're looking for one thing and you get directed to, like on a GPS, rerouting to another location. And I came across this list of places to apply for work. And so I applied and I was thinking, it's like, all right, Spirit, I'm going to trust you on this one. I don't know if this is the right place, but I'm going to trust you. And I ended up applying for the position. And they called me maybe about a week later. I went in for an interview. And it has been one of the most amazing experiences because they did hire me. It wasn't on the spot. It wasn't I wanted full-time at the time, and they hired me for part-time. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, you all just missed out on the best person that you had, as a full-time person. That was my ego. But what I know is that, okay, Spirit, you have me here in this place. What is it that I'm to do? Where I've started working is I work in a funeral home. And it's where when I tell people this, they kind of look at me strange, or it's like, oh, but those that know me they know that's the perfect place for you. That this is the perfect place where you need to be. And in that space, it has been such an amazing experience because I get to stand with families in their grieving process. I get to hold their hearts in these places when they're seeing their loved ones and having services for them. I get to hold them in those spaces. And what I realized was that it came to me, it's like, this is the perfect place for me. It wasn't the place that I had chosen, but it was where Spirit guided me to go. And this year will be 1 year. March 24th will be 1 year that I've been with this funeral home. And there have been some amazing perks that have come with this, not just with the families, the people that I get to work with. They did hire me full time after I'd been there for about 3 months or so. They ended up hiring me full time. And that has been a blessing as well. But what I know is that in this place of this work, this paid service is what I call it, that this is my ministry as well. That how I show up for these families, the words that I provide or give to these people that show up for their families, it is such an amazing experience for me and for them. And they feel like family. And that's not why I do it, but this is a sacred service. And even in that place, I have to thank Spirit for guiding me to this place. And even in this place, I became, before I actually hit 1 year, I became their employee of the year. And that was not something I was striving for. It wasn't even in my consciousness that was something to go for. I just show up and just do how Spirit is guiding me. And that's this whole thing of letting go of, I think I lost it. I think I lost my income. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. I don't know any of this. But what I know is that let me be still. Because what I know is that even during those times when I wasn't working, I still had some income coming in. And I never missed a beat in paying my rent, paying bills. And then it's like now it has expanded. And I look at how do I be that place, be that person to show people trust within, go within, tap into that divine of who we are and remember who we are and trust that Spirit is always guiding our steps, even as we're looking at now this world that we're in. What is mine to do? You can ask yourself that question. What is mine to do? When people say you need to, some people will go protest, some people will go and, write letters, whatever it is that you're called to do. If that's what's within you, then do that. But allow Spirit to be that guide for you. Allow yourselves to think that, no, you haven't lost anything. You've not lost your way of how to show up in the world in love, of how to show up in the world to hold peace, to hold life in your hands when you're holding babies or a loved one or whomever it is. We remember who we are when we get into that still place and allow our ego to fade away. Because during that time, presence of Spirit still remains within us. And I keep thinking, it's like, as long as we continue to have breath in our bodies, we still have more spiritual work to do, more living to do. And this is our moment now. And we talk about how to make a world that works for all. And that starts with ourselves as well. How do we make a world that works for ourselves? What is it that we can look at within ourselves, create this image of how we want to see this world in a way that's not egoic, but in that place that comes from this place of love? Be in that stillness. Allow yourself to be open at the top to receive that information. Allow it to funnel down into you. I get downloads all the time, and it's like, and I I listen. Sometimes when I get them, I may fuss about it. It's like, really, Spirit, you want me to do this? I don't know. It's like, then I just stop. It's like, and I have to laugh at myself because I know I'm going to do it anyway. So when I get those downloads, I jump in and it's just like, all right, Spirit. Now I'm just gotten to the point. It's like, okay, let me just listen and go do what it is that I'm called to do. And that's the same thing that you get to do. You get to let go of those past ways of thinking, of being, of how you may have been, how your parents, how your teachers, how your friends, how your loved ones may have said, that you are, that doesn't fit who you truly are. The essence of who you are, to show your love, to step out in faith and take these steps that Spirit is calling you to do. Faith is life itself. When we walk in that space of walking in faith, knowing that, things could be crumbling around you, but we know things crumble, they fall apart in order for something new to come into light. And so that means trusting, even if we can't understand it with our own human eyes right now. Tap into it with your spiritual eye, with your inner eye. And I love when Maya was doing her treatment this morning, and it was just like, and she was just hitting every area, because what's true in her prayer is true for all of us. And in that moment, when we think, how am I going to make it? How am I going to survive through all of this? Even when we look at gas prices going up, all of this is going up. And what I know is that there is something that's unfolding underneath of all of this that's happening to bring us to a place that we can say, thank you, Spirit, for this day. Thank you, Spirit, for these things that I've survived. Thank you for allowing me to be able to move, to be able to breathe, to be able to speak into this right now moment. Because when we speak into that right now moment, not in fear, in faith, in love, in life, allow that right now moment. That's your prayer. It's going out into the world. That's the seed that's being planted out into the world. Allow your seed to grow in the world. Watch what happens. Not what the ego is telling you. Oh, who are you? You can't do that. Why do you think you can do this? Because Spirit within me has guided me to do this. So I know that I can do this. I don't know all the hows or the whys of it, but I know that I can do this because I know who I am. And that's that whole thing of you've never lost anything. There's nothing to find. There's this place of remembrance. So when we're open at the top, we're open to love, we're open to wisdom, and we open to the possibility that Spirit is always revealing something so much greater than we could ever imagine. We can't outthink God on this, on our lives. We can't be in this place to say, you know what, I know better than God does, or Spirit does, whatever name. But do you really? And it's like, because when we think about how we operate in our own world, sometimes things become so rote to us that we're in, I always think, it's like that we're in hypnosis. When you think about when you're driving, you have one route that you take to work or wherever you go. And it's kind of like you're going on autopilot. And then something happens, and then it's like, oh, the road is closed. I can't go that way. Oh, what do I do? That's that wake-up call. That's that spiritual wake-up call, because the path that you're taking may not be the best path for you. And Spirit put something in the way to say, nope, this is done. It's time to open up to something new. That was my whole thing when I moved from California to Georgia, even back here. It's like, okay, Spirit, what are we doing? Because I'm not, it's like, I know in my own thinking, my fear can come up. I'm trusting. And so I invite you all to trust, to know that in these moments when it feels tough, when it feels so crazy in the world right now, trust that divine within you. Trust Spirit to guide you to something much greater. Tap into, again, my thing is, Spirit, you created me. You know me better than I do. Show me the way. Open the doors for me to see. And it may not happen right away because there are some things that may need to be worked out in order for you to be able to walk through those doors. But be open to allowing yourselves to trust and to not think about, this isn't working. Maybe I'll try this. This isn't working. Maybe I'll try this. Because so many times we bounce around and we try different things. And sometimes that's how we learn. So we learn when we try different things, and some things may not work out for us. But then we want to beat ourselves up to say, oh, I failed in this, or this didn't work out. Or say, oh, that was a stupid idea. No, it was an idea. It was something that we tried. We put energy to it. But no, Spirit has something greater. So allow yourself to be in that space to know that there's something greater unfolding for you right now. And so I'm just grateful to be able to bring this talk to you all as we close this out, to just say thank you, to thank you all for who you are, and to remember, if you ever think that I lost something, even if you lost like a ring or something in the house, or you've lost something in the house, my go-to has always been, it knows where it is. I don't, but I need for it to reveal itself to me. And eventually it shows up and it's like, oh, that's where it is. How many times have you all done that? But the thing is, like, we remember, because we remember to connect with that we're wanting to see a change in. We remember to connect to our inner self. We remember who we are. And in that space of remembering who we are, life is good, regardless of appearances. Who we are, what we bring to the table is good. It's life, it's love, it's peace. Trust who you are. Know who you are. And stay open at the top. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Reverend Deb. An appropriate talk, and speaking to me for some of that, it was exactly what I needed to hear today. So thank you for that. We'll see you on Zoom for the discussion in just a little bit.
Yes.
So yeah, you can exit here. We'll see you over on Zoom. And everybody else, if you're online and you want to have a discussion with us, go to cslmidtown.org and scroll down to the Zoom link for that. So now it's time for our new minister, Sacred Covenant Easy Prayer. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express Spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of Spirit as principle. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God, for it is written, principle is not bound by precedent. It operates according to law, and it is always available to those who are willing to align themselves with it. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as inspiring spiritual oneness through wisdom, love, and authenticity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing the truth about myself. For I am inspired to live as love in the expression of principle. I am awakening the wisdom within me by clearly communicating the principles of universal truth. I am a conduit of divine love, wisdom, and healing energy, recognizing the inherent wholeness within all beings. I'm offering teachings, classes, and mystical studies grounded in spiritual principles to cultivate inner wisdom, personal transformation, and empowered living. I'm extending the love, compassion, and transformative power of Spirit into the wider community, fostering connections that heal, uplift, and support individuals in their unique journeys. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will express Spirit and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. Now it's time for conscious giving. You can go to our website, cslmidtown.org/donate, and set up a ongoing contribution. If you're online and you're getting fed by this information, by these teachers that we bring to us each and every week, these ministers, these wonderful ministers, these great messages that are coming through, please consider setting up an ongoing donation. If you haven't already, $5, $10 a month would be an awesome support for this service that we provide each and every week. So, say with me now, I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. So we got a couple of announcements. I want to thank Maya for being our practitioner today. Next week, we have Reverend Kit Holmes back with us for her talk. Do it. She's got her musical capability, so we'll hear her sing and give her a presentation of that talk. The adult study group on the Science of Mind textbook meets every Sunday at 10 a.m. on the Zoom channel link. So you can get there by going to cslmidtown.org, scroll down to where the Zoom link is, click that, put in the passcode, and you can join in that discussion. They're going through the entire Science of Mind textbook. You don't have to have read the chapter that week to join in the study, but it would help, and they'll get you caught up with where they're at. And so now let's do our affirmation of life. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. Have a great week, everybody. And if you're online and you want to join us over on Zoom, we're going to have a great discussion with Reverend Deb.